On August 6, 1945, President Truman ordered one of the most revolutionary airstrikes known to man, also known as the Fat Man and the Little Brother, on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan. These airstrikes left great impacts on American lifestyle during that time, modern warfare, science evolution, and including racial impacts and social structures. There was multiple disagreements during this time between American citizens, even soldiers who launched the bomb themselves. The co-pilot of the Enola Gay, Robert Lewis, wrote in his diary shortly after the plane dropped the bomb on Hiroshima, "My God, what have we done?" These things like that show impacts on American disagreements and the disagreements between United States citizens and soldiers.
A short time ago, an American airplane dropped one bomb on Hiroshima and destroyed its usefulness to the enemy. That bomb has more power than 20,000 tons of TNT. The Japanese began the war from the air at Pearl Harbor. They have been repaid many-fold, and the end is not yet. With this bomb, we have now added a new and revolutionary increase in destruction to supplement the growing power of our armed forces. In their present form, these bombs are now in production, and even more powerful forms are in development. It is an atomic bomb. It is a harnessing of the basic power of the universe. The force from which the sun draws its power has been loosed against those who brought war to the Far East. We have spent more than $2 billion on the greatest scientific gamble in history, and we have won. But the greatest marvel is not the size of the enterprise, its secrecy, or its cost, but the achievement of scientific brains in making it.
Controversy to popular beliefs and views. The bombing of Nagasaki and Hiroshima was a political maneuver to show American dominance and to get Russia, our former allies in the Japan War, to accept the subordinate position in the post-war stage. President Truman welcomed Russia as an ally in the war against Japan, but felt that the agreements hammered at the Potsdam Conference had given far too much ground to the Soviets, with several Soviet-occupied countries annexed as Soviet Socialist republics, and a number of East European countries becoming Soviet satellite states. Truman was firm in his conviction that there would be no repeat performance of this with the defeat of Japan. And with the success of the first atomic bomb test in mid-July 1945, Truman felt that he was now in a position to make this very clear to Stalin. There would be no Soviet influence in the post-war Japan, as the Potsdam Conference had agreed there would be for the post-war Europe. This was a controversy between two countries. Due to the atomic bombing, in order to get Japan to cease and surrender, there was conflicts between Russia and America in order to see who would have more influence on the Japanese government. Whereas Truman wanted no socialist views involved in Japan, Russia had other ideas, due to the fact that they already had socialist republics in other states after World War II.
The atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki will forever live in the pages of history as two of the most significant turning points in modern history, initiating the world into the nuclear age. The lives destroyed, the torture endured, the repercussions still felt today. Not only the citizens of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but the American psyche as well. In the remaining months of 1945, much was written and discussed concerning the atomic bombs and the discovery of nuclear energy. Yet the very little was written about the fate of the two cities destroyed by the atomic bombs, or the suffering of the Japanese people as a result of the atomic bombs. As there are exceptions to be found everywhere, it is clear that the majority of the citizens of the United States faced a major moral dilemma larger than they could handle.
The world will note that the first atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, a military base. If Japan does not surrender, bombs will have to be dropped on war industries. I urge Japanese civilians to leave industrial cities immediately and save themselves from destruction. I realize the tragic significance of the atomic bomb. Having found the atomic bomb, we have used it. We have used it against those who attack us without warning at Pearl Harbor, against those who have starved and beaten and executed American prisoners of war, against those who have abandoned all pretense of obeying international laws of warfare. We have used it in order to shorten the agony of war, in order to save the lives of thousands and thousands of young Americans.
Not only was it a turning point in military warfare, it was a change in science innovations. Physicians were able to discover the dangerous uses of uranium and plutonium. The medical researches furthered during this time as well. For instance, medicine against tropical diseases like malaria also became critical for the United States to fight in the tropical climates like the South Pacific. During the World War II, science became mobilized on a grand scale. Many of these professors and their students dropped everything to work on war-related challenges and initiatives. The massive research and development R&D laboratory emerged in its modern form. The paradigm of these efforts was the Manhattan Project, which put thousands of physicians together with army-scaled logistics and designed, built, and manufactured the first atomic bombs. The science and technology of blood transfusion were also perfected during the World War II, as was aviation medicine, which allowed people, including us, to fly safely at high altitudes for long periods. Studies of night vision, supplemental oxygen, and even crash helmets and safety bullets emerged from aviation medicine.
The atomic bomb dropping in Hiroshima and Nagasaki were seen by some as a victory without invasion, an operation done in one fell swoop. In a way, this is correct, but the general consensus of the American public was shameful in their own country, as the gruesome reality of modern nuclear war was revealed, and that the United States had to set a war precedent in the Holocaust of the Japanese people. William Morse said, "This is precisely what war is today, a senseless, dirty, brutal operation." While Morse addresses the morbidity found in this newfound warfare, he praises the United States military, saying that our government had the courage, the foresight, and the wisdom to resolve as it did the challenge of the grave decision which confronted it, need never, as I see it, bring the red blush of shame to any American, but rather a sense of thankfulness and pride. From another perspective, the assertion of military dominance raised the confidence of the American people in hostile affairs with other nations, knowing that if provoked, the United States was a force to be reckoned with, unmatched by any foreign assailants.